Come on, Fuzz, let's talk about auctions.
Yeah, okay. Right, auctions. Now, a lot of people in the past have been sort of wary of auctions.
I know, and that I think is unfair because for lots of reasons I think auctions are more transparent than a normal sale process.
Yeah, true.
Because you get to come and see the cars at a good auction house, like Manor Park Classics, you get to come and see the cars without the stress of knowing you've got to try and complete a deal there. Because if you go and see a car on someone's drive and you like that car, basically, if you don't make a decision there and then, chances are, if it's a good car, you're going to lose it. What's lovely about coming to an auction, you can come 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before, bring your mate, bring the guy from the club, bring your dad, bring whoever makes you feel comfortable about buying a car. Have a good look, poke and prod, speak to your insurer, stick it on the ramp, get it in the air, have a look, and think, and just cogitate and think, is this the car I want? Can I afford it? Do I know how to run it? Can I insure it? All those things, and then you can come and bid.
Yeah, exactly. And the most important thing is that you can set a price in your head that you don't want to go above. And if somebody else wants to take it away from you for more money than you were prepared to bid, then so be it.
Yeah.
But it's comfort all of the way.
I think so. Yeah. And also I think as a seller, again, it's more transparent because sometimes, I mean, I've had cars where I've wanted to get, say, £2,000 for a car and I've stuck it into auction and I've got £3,000. Because if a car's good and if people really want it, the market will set the price. And that's what I love about the auction format as a seller. If the car's good and it's well presented and you've gone through the history and made it all very accessible, it will fetch the right money.
That's right. And a good auction house will beforehand tell you what they think the car is worth, to give you a sort of benchmark, a sort of a guide, so that you don't get disappointed if it if it doesn't go to the sort of higher echelons of what you thought or imagined it might be worth, because car values do go up.
They do, and they change, don't they? And also stuff, and this is a great example, this Jensen Healey is a very nice example of what we're talking about. This is actually quite a hard car to value because it's level, it's straight, it's had a colour change, it needs a few jobs.
Yes.
I mean, the guys at Manor Park have been very open in the description. This is not a perfect car. It's a car that you buy to make perfect and have some fun along the way.
But, I mean, look at it, it's great because you think of these cars as being small, but actually
it's big.
It's quite a big car.
I mean, there's a 968 next to it, it's longer than a 968.
That's right, and you know, these kind of competed with, I suppose other British sports cars at the time. You had MG BGTs, Triumph Spitfires and stuff like that. This is leaps and bounds ahead. This is luxury, but you know, clad in a sports car body.
You're just biased because this is from West Bromwich.
It is from West Bromwich, and I grew up in Sutton Coldfield, just outside, you know, just a little distance from West Bromwich. And I can understand what people in West Bromwich say.
But we should talk about Manor Park Classics and why it's different. So obviously, how did you meet the guys? How did you know them?
Well, I knew a couple of people from Manor Park Classics. So I knew Roger Noel. I've worked with him at with other companies beforehand.
He's a nice guy.
And well, he likes to think he's a nice guy. Yeah, he is a nice guy actually. And so
for legal reasons, he is a nice guy.
He's a very, very lovely man.
Yeah. He should bring that tenner now, shouldn't he? Just at that point, he should walk into the shop with a tenner.
Anyway, so I knew him, and he said that he wanted to that he and a few colleagues were looking to set up an auction house with a difference. Yeah. And sort of make it a bit more open, a bit more friendly, less hassle, so less pressurized. So rather than buying a car and having to remove it on the day, otherwise
because that is a stress. People don't realise that, do with a lot of auction houses. What you have to do, so you've completed your sale, you have to pay your money straight away. That's pretty much an industry standard. But normally, because a lot of auction houses are what they call travelling circuses, so they either rent a nice location or move somewhere to do a sale, they're very tight on space. So they have to get you out the next morning. So you pay for your car and it's got to be gone. We're here within reason. I mean, you're not going to leave it here for 6 months.
Well, you can. You can store it here. You can pay for storage,
But within a week or two, you just leave it here, come and fetch it when you like.
Yes.
I kind of met the guys because I bought a really rare Subaru, one of one left, Subaru GLF.
Ah, yes, I remember, yeah.
A really cool little thing, and I just saw it listed and I thought, that's cool, and I've got a Subaru collection. I thought I'd like to add that. And didn't realise how rare it was till I bought it. It's just the last one.
Yeah.
But just found them very, very easy to deal with. And obviously I'm an old trade lag, same as you. I've been to all the auctions, I've had all the experiences.
Oh, hold on. I don't buy and sell cars.
Yeah, but you've been in the motor trade all your life, haven't you?
Well, I suppose so.
Which you're making hit records.
Yeah, a few hit records, fixing buses kind of thing. Yeah. But, I'm kind of, now.
So do you see it more as a punter then, kind of the experience? Because I come into this as someone who's worked in the trade since I left school.
I definitely as a punter. Yeah. I've never bought a car as a trader in that respect. I've only bought cars for myself.
Always as a muggle?
I've only wanted when I've been at auctions and I've had a paddle, I've only been there to buy a car for good old me.
But it's fun though, isn't it? And that's
Yeah.
what I like about this. And this is the thing, guys. So it's just very, very straightforward. And as Fuzz says, it's very welcoming. It's not the normal. It's quite oppressive, some auction houses. I don't know if you've ever been into them.
Yes, I have, yeah.
They're quite clicky. If you don't know what
Yeah.
you're doing, it can be quite nerve-wracking. What's nice about coming here, first of all, the time. There's a lot of time to look at the lots, go through, inspect them.
Yeah.
All the book packs are very easy to look at and get to. And if you can't get here, the descriptions are insane. So you've got a million photographs, you've got videos of the book packs. So even if you can't get to the auction room, there's loads of great ways to make yourself feel comfortable before you bid. But I would advise anyone, if you're spending a few thousand, treat it as a fun day out. Don't you
Yes,
reckon?
exactly. That's the most important thing, because if you go and view a car on somebody's drive, they're not going to welcome you with your deck chair and your sandwiches for you to sit there and then invite a procession of friends there. They want a quick decision. They want you in, party with your cash, car gone. Whereas here at Manor Park Classics, what you can do is you could bring your deck chair and come and sit with the car.
They even give you a chair.
Yeah.
They make you a cup of tea if you ask nicely.
You don't even need your own deck chair.
No.
Make you a cup of tea. You can live with the car for a day. You can get into it, get out of it.
You can bring sandwiches.
Yeah,
you just
you
don't
can.
eat them in the cars, please.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
You can and you can and then you can get ready, in your head, to know what you would pay for that car. You don't need to go anywhere above it. And who knows?
But what's fun though,
you might even get it below.
That's very true.
Yeah.
But the auction format, the other thing is if it goes above your internal estimate, what you wanted to set for that car, what's really nice is there's nothing like being in a room full of people that are giving you an indication of value to give you an idea of what that car's truly worth. So if you think this car's worth 10 grand, but there's 3 other people in the room that bid it up to 12, if you ever have to sell that car, there's probably a market for the car at 12. So you can sometimes pay a bit more than you thought because you're reassured by other people in the room, like you other buyers, actually, that's the market value of the car.
And that's what you want. You want to justify the purchase, don't you? For when you go home and say, well, actually, it's worth a lot more. That's why I paid a lot more for it.
It's when you explain to other people in your family why you've spent that money.
Yeah.
And we've all been there.
We have, we have. Try and cover it, but we'll talk about how to cover your tracks.
Yeah, ways to pay off the radar.
That's
for
right.
Cars,
And of
legally.
course, yes, of course. Now, that's the other thing about being as an auction house. There are options to finance the purchase.
Well, that's it, and we had a little video about that the other day, because I would always say, particularly if you're looking at a car to restore, because you know better than I do, you can buy a car for 6 grand, you can spend 30 grand restoring it, and it's worth 20 something.
Yeah.
So you're much better to buy, like the Celica we looked at earlier.
Yes.
That car's fully restored, you've got to do nothing to it other than put petrol in and polish it. That car will probably sell for less than it would cost a punter.
Yes, absolutely.
To restore it. So
yes,
to me,
it will. Yeah.
if you're thinking of buying a 5 grand Celica and spending 20 grand on it, don't buy a 15 grand one, finance it, and then you've got a car that will actually be much cheaper, much better value.
And you'll love it. And the one thing that will happen with the other one that you're restoring is the restoration will likely stall for some years. So it will be absolutely ages by the time you actually get to drive the thing.
Yeah.
So, get the car that's already
if that
done.
happens, there's a great TV show, I've seen it, you can ring him up, and you say, this has been in my garage for
Anyway,
years.
did you know that this has got a Lotus engine? Here we are. Let's have a look under here. There we are. Lotus engine. And that's how to keep somebody from Nottingham quiet. It's done the trick, hasn't it? Well done, me. Right. Shall we move on?
Shall we?
Come on.